Hello children, welcome to chemistry class. Today in class 11 we will discuss our next topic. So next topic is isotopes of hydrogen. What is isotopes of hydrogen? So the definition of isotopes you have already studied. What is the definition of isotopes? Could you tell? What is the definition? Yes. The atom of same elements. Atom of same elements. Here, atom of same elements have same atomic number but different atomic masses are called isotopes. So here we are going to discuss isotopes of hydrogen. Isotopes of hydrogen. So here hydrogen has three isotopes. 1H1 that is called protium, 1H2 that is called deuterium, 1H3 that is called tritium. Here protium has one proton and one electron. It has no electron. It has no neutron. Protium has one proton and one electron. Deuterium have one proton, one electron and one neutron. And tritium has one proton, one electron and two neutrons. So among these, which one is heavier or heaviest we can say? That one is heaviest and this one is lightest. Okay. Other, if you see here, protium, deuterium and tritium. Protium, deuterium and tritium. So tritium is radioactive. What does mean of radioactive? Some elements are heavier elements. Those who radiate alpha, beta and gamma rays and they change into stable elements are called radioactive. So that is radioactive active means that radiate beta rays. That radiate beta rays. When radioactive elements radiate rays, radioactive rays, they change their atomic mass and atomic number, and by that they get stability. So tritium is radioactive. And predominant form of isotope is what is? Protium. Predominant form of isotope is protium. And here if we discuss more detail about this, so you can see the table 9.1, atomic and physical properties of hydrogen. You can see in NCERT page 285, table 9.1. Here relative physical and chemical properties are given for protium, deuterium and tritium. Here, so many things we can discuss here. Many properties like relative abundance means hydrogen is protium, maximum hydrogen exists in form of protium. That's we say predominant form. Here that is 99.98%. Deuterium, in form of deuterium, hydrogen exists 0.0156%, and in tritium 10 to the power minus 15 means that form 10 to the power minus 15. Here it is 99.98. This is 0.0156, and that is 10 to the power minus 15. Means they exist. Means hydrogen exists in maximum in predominant form, this and then that and then that. So in least form of this is found tritium. And second point, if we say here relative atomic mass. Relative atomic mass. So you know that relative atomic mass change their atomic mass like this. Here atomic mass is 1, that atomic mass is 2, and atomic mass of that one is 3. So like that change. Here melting and boiling point. Melting and boiling point increases with increase in atomic mass, so that is highest. This one has lowest. Another point, density of that one is increasing as the atomic mass increases, density increases. So are these points we make. Bond of enthalpy also, bond of enthalpy increases with increase the atomic mass. Okay, so here we will discuss some more points. Isotopes have same electronic configuration. They have almost same chemical properties. Means you know that elements in periodic table are arranged according the electronic configuration. Elements of same electronic configuration are placed together. So all the elements of hydrogen means all the atoms of hydrogen have same atomic structure. We can see same electronic configuration. So their chemical properties are same. They have difference in rate of reaction due to the difference in the enthalpy of one dissociation. Means as the rate of reaction they have little difference. As the size increases, that affect the rate of reaction. That affects the rate of reaction. Physical properties are difference. The physical properties are differ due to difference in mass. So that property depends on mass is different, but the property that depends on electronic configuration is same. So here we have discussed the isotopes of hydrogen. And next point we will discuss what is the next point we will discuss preparation of hydrogen. Preparation of hydrogen, and you know that hydrogen exists in form of H2. So what we will say? Preparation of dihydrogen. Preparation of dihydrogen. Hydrogen can be prepared by two methods in laboratory. So in laboratory it can be prepared by two methods. First is by the reaction of diluted HCl with granular zinc. So here granular zinc react with diluted HCl, it gives ZnCl2 plus H2. So it is first method for preparation. And second is zinc react with aqueous NaOH and gives what is Na2 ZnO2 plus H2 hydrogen. So it is sodium zincate. Sodium zincate. It is sodium zincate. So there are two methods for preparing dihydrogen in laboratory. First is by the reaction of granular zinc with diluted HCl. When granular zinc react with diluted HCl gives ZnCl2 and H2. So H2 is prepared here. Zinc react with aqueous NaOH and gives sodium zincate and H2. So these two are laboratory methods. And after this we will discuss commercial method. On commercial scale, we can prepare hydrogen. First is hydrolysis of acidified water. Hydrolysis of acidified water. When acidified water is hydrolyzed, it gives us hydrogen and O2. Hydrogen and means when acidified water is hydrolyzed, it gives us hydrogen and O2. Second is barium hydroxide is when barium hydroxide is electrolyzing between nickel electrode, we get a hydrogen, and that is purest form 99.95%. That is 99.5%. So by this method, when barium hydroxide aqueous solution is hydrolyzed, we get 99.5% of hydrogen. And next is here electrolysis. Here in this reaction, by the production of sodium hydroxide, by electrolysis of NaCl, aqueous NaCl. When aqueous NaCl is electrolyzed, NaCl is electrolyzed between the electrodes, we get sodium hydroxide is the main product. Sodium hydroxide is the main product here, and we get what? Chlorine and S2. Sorry, S2. So byproduct is at cathode we get chlorine, and at anode we get hydrogen. So here by we say brine solution and electrolysis give us sodium hydroxide and byproduct Cl2 and S2, and we get S2 at anode. And next is when hydrocarbon react with steam at high temperature. When hydrocarbon react with steam at high temperature in presence of nickel, they give carbon monoxide and hydrogen. When hydrocarbon is cooked, react with steam at high temperature 1270 Kelvin in presence of nickel catalyst, it gives us carbon monoxide and S2. And here carbon monoxide and S2, so we will get here N. So how many S2 we will get? 2N plus 1. Here we have taken one carbon is 1, so 2N is 2 plus 1 3. So how many hydrogen we will get? Total 3 H2 we will get. So like this also we can take, if we are taking, so here how many we will get? 5 H2 we will get. And the mixture of CO and S2, the mixture of CO and S2 is called water gas. The mixture of CO and S2 is called water gas, and it is used. The mixture of CO and S2 is called water gas, and it is used for preparation of methanol. It is used for preparation of methanol. So here we see there three methods: by electrolysis, acidified S2 electrolysis, it gives us hydrogen, barium hydroxide between nickel electrode. When it is aqueous solution of barium hydroxide is hydrolyzed, it gives us 99.95% hydrogen, is purest hydrogen. When brine solution is electrolyzed, it gives us sodium hydroxide, and in byproduct we get hydrogen and HCl2. So we get hydrogen at cathode. And fourth was that what? When coke react with steam at high temperature in presence of nickel catalyst, it gives us carbon monoxide and what is H2. And the mixture of carbon monoxide, mixture of carbon and hydrogen is called water gas. And it is used for preparation of methanol. It is used for preparation of methanol. And there, this is also called here. This is also called we have seen that syngas are made by the reaction of steam with coke. syngas obtained means syngas is mixture of CO plus H2. This is also called water gas. And why it is called syngas? This gas is used for preparation of methanol and different hydrocarbons. It is used for synthesis of methanol and different hydrocarbons, so it is called syngas. Here nowadays syngas is being produced from the newspaper, scrap wood and sawdust. Newspaper, scrap wood and sawdust. Newspaper solid carbon react with H2O with steam, that we say, and produce CO2 and H2. And here this reaction, this process is called coal gasification. Means the process in which coke react with steam and produce CO and H2 is called coal gasification. What is coal gasification? And this nowadays it is being used for the production of hydrogen. Nowadays it is being used for the production of hydrogen. When we can increase the production of hydrogen by reacting CO with H2, by reacting CO with H2O, and here H2O react with CO plus H2O. Here gases form when CO react with steam, or we can say H2O at high temperature in presence of catalyst, that we say iron chromate. What is that iron chromate? It produces CO2 and H2, and here CO2 is fastly removed. This is called the water gas shift reaction. Here this is called the water gas shift reaction because from here CO we have taken and again we had made to react with steam. So this is called water gas shift reaction. CO2 is scrubbing with sodium arsenate solution. Here CO2 obtained is immediately scrubbed with sodium arsenate solution. So what we have discussed here, just we can say syngas. Why we say syngas? Because yes, CO and H2 is used for preparation of methanol and other hydrocarbon. So it is called syngas. It is used for synthesis of methanol and other hydrocarbons. So it is called syngas. Nowadays H2O is being produced from a newspaper, scrap wood, sawdust, etc. So coke, that we say coke, react with steam and produce CO and H2. CO and H2, and this reaction is called coal gasification. You remember it? This reaction is called coal gasification. Coal gasification. This is called coal gasification, and here we can increase the production of H2O by reacting CO2 of what? CO2 of CO of coal gas, CO of coal gas with steam. CO and H2O with CO react with steam at high temperature. At high temperature, what is temperature? At high temperature 673 Kelvin at catalyst iron chromate, it produces CO2 and H2O. So here also H2 is being produced, and this is called water gas shift reaction. So this mixture is water gas, and here this one is being used here. So we say water gas shift reaction, and whatever CO2 is produced, is CO2 is scrubbing with the sodium arsenate solution. And what are the different source from that CO2 is being H2 is being produced? So 77% of H2 is being produced from petrochemicals, 18% from coal tar, 4% by electrolysis of aqueous solution, and 1% from other sources. So total 100% are being produced from different sources. Here that mixture is called syngas. Why that is called syngas? That mixture is being used for preparation of methanol and different hydrocarbons, so it is called syngas. Nowadays syngas is being produced by the reaction of paper, scrap wood and sawdust. And when this newspaper mixed carbon react with steam and it gives CO and H2O, and this reaction, the process of reacting carbon to steam, is called coal gas gasification. And again we can increase the production of H2O by reacting CO2 of coal gas with steam. Steam with H2O at high temperature 673 Kelvin at iron chromate catalyst. At chromate catalyst produce CO2 and H2O, and this is called water gas shift reaction, and CO2 is removed with the help of sodium arsenate solution. And different methods by that we produce H2 is 77% from petrochemical, 18% from coal tar, 4% by electrolysis of aqueous solution, and 1% from other sources. This is the production of hydrogen from different resources. We are discussing properties of dihydrogen. What are the properties of dihydrogen? It is physical property of dihydrogen: colorless, odorless, tasteless, combustible gas. It is lighter than water. This is the physical properties of the chemical properties. H2O is chemically inert at room temperature, but its reactivity increases at high temperature, which is about 2000 Kelvin. It decomposes only 0.081%, and at 5000 it decomposes into 2 hydrogen atoms. So at room temperature it is chemically inert. And what is the reason behind this? It is chemically inert due to high bond dissociation enthalpy. High bond being a single bond and smaller atoms. Being a single bond and smaller atoms, bond dissociation enthalpy is higher for single bond between hydrogen, so it is chemically inert at room temperature. Atomic hydrogen is produced at high temperature. It has incomplete orbital and accomplishes reactions by loss of only one electron to give H plus sign, gain of electron to form H minus sign, and by sharing electrons to form a single covalent bond. So here what we have discussed here, chemical properties. Is chemical property H2 is chemically inert at room temperature due to high bond dissociation enthalpy between dihydrogen. Dissociation of dihydrogen into its atoms at 2000 Kelvin is only this much percent, 0.08%, and at 5000 is 99.5%. Atomic hydrogen is produced at a high temperature. And it has incomplete orbital and accomplishes reaction by loss of only one electron to give H plus ion, and to gain electron to form H minus ion, and sharing electrons to form a single covalent bond. Sharing electrons to form a single covalent bonds. So these are the properties of hydrogen, that is physical property. This is chemical properties. This is chemical properties. So we say it is highly inert at room temperature, but as temperature increases about 2000 Kelvin, it's 0.081% dissociate at 5000 Kelvin. At 5000 Kelvin, at 5000 Kelvin, its temperature increases. At 5000 Kelvin, its temperature, yes, at 5000 Kelvin, it completely decomposes into its atom. So here they discussed